Today I will discuss domestic or economic territory of a country, then normal resident of a country and non-residents. It is the most important part of national income. We know that national income is the sum of the factor income of residents during an accounting year. So, who are the residents of the country? And who are the non-residents of the country? How to detect domestic territory of the country? So, in this part, I will discuss all these things. First, I will discuss domestic or economic territory of a country. It is the geographical territory administered by a government within which persons, goods, and capital circulate freely. It is the geographical territory which is administered by the government. It means within this territory, the rules and regulations of the government is operated. Also within which there is no restrictions, there is no obstacles, no hindrances for the persons, goods, okay. So persons, goods and capital circulate freely without any obstacles, without any restrictions, without any hindrances, without any restraint measures. So in layman's language, basically in common language, domestic territory means territory lying within the political frontiers of a country. Domestic territory means territory lying within the political frontiers. Frontiers means boundaries, political boundaries. Same thing, geographical territory. Political frontiers, political territory, or geographical territory, same thing. So, in layman's language, in common language, domestic territory means territory lying within the political frontiers or political boundaries or geographical territory of a country. But in national income accounting sense, the term domestic territory is used in a wider sense. So, it includes the following. First one, territory lying within the political frontiers or geographical territory, including territorial waters of a country. The territory lying within the political frontiers or geographical territory, including territorial waters of a country. Second one, you see, Indian embassies, consulates, military bases, etc. of the country located abroad. If Indian embassies, you know that our embassies are there in different countries, our consulates are there, Indian military bases are there in different countries. So, I want to discuss embassies. The head of the embassy is an ambassador. It is the highest ranking representative of a country in another country. with which it has diplomatic relations. It means in embassy one head is there. The head is an ambassador. He is the messenger between the respective country and our country. For example, you see Indian embassy in the USA, Indian embassy in China, Indian embassy in Japan. How much area occupied by Indian embassy in USA, in China, in Japan, in Germany? Then this area by the Indian government. Okay, so it is the part of domestic territory of India. How much area occupied by the Indian embassies in different countries? It belongs to domestic territory, because the area occupied by the embassies in different countries actually regulations of our government, of Indian government is operating. Clear? Similarly, Indian consulates in different countries. In consulate, the head is a consulate is to provide services for resident or traveling nationals from home country, providing services for the residents and also providing service to the traveling people. So Indian embassies in other countries, Indian consulates in other countries, Indian military bases in other countries, how much area these offices occupied in other countries, it belongs to Indian territory. Similarly, other countries' embassy is there in India. The embassy of USA in India. So how much area occupied by the embassy of USA in India? It is the part of the domestic territory of USA. Okay. So the embassy of other countries in India, how much area occupied by the embassies of foreign countries in India belongs to the foreign territory. Okay. How much area occupied by the foreign embassies in India belongs to foreign territory. These areas do not belongs to domestic territory. Similarly, foreign consulates, foreign military bases in India, how much area these offices occupied, it belongs to foreign territory. These areas do not belong to domestic territory. Next one, ships and aircrafts operated by the residents of the country across different parts of the world. For example, you see Indian ships moving between Japan and Korea regularly, or similarly passenger planes operated by Air India between England and Russia are a part of the domestic territory of India. Again, ships and aircrafts operated by residents of the country across different parts of the world. For example, again, regularly Indian ships moving between Japan and Korea regularly. Okay, so this area belongs to domestic territory of India. Similarly, passenger planes operated by Air India planes operating between England and Russia regularly and this route also belongs to domestic territory of India. Next one you see, fishing vessels, oil and natural gas, etc., operated by residents in the international waters over which country enjoys exclusive rights. Okay, fishing vessels, oil and natural gas, etc., operated by residents of India in the international waters over which our country enjoys exclusive rights, then it belongs to Indian territory. For example, you see research projects undertaken by the Indian government in international waters of Indian Ocean is a part of domestic territory of India. Similarly, Indian fishing boats regularly operating in international waters of Indian Ocean, also it is a part of domestic territory of India. So again, it means fishing vessels, oil and natural gas, etc., operated by the residents in the international water over which our country enjoys exclusive rights. It belongs to Indian territory. It belongs to domestic territory of India or economic territory of India. Okay. Then next one I will discuss normal residents. How to detect the normal residents of the country? Who are the normal residents of the country? A normal resident is said to be a person or an institution. A resident may be an individual or an institution or organization or farm or factory or industry or bank or insurance company, etc. So a normal resident is said to be a person or an institution who ordinarily resides or is located in a country and whose center of economic interest like earnings, spending and accumulation lies in that country. Actually, two conditions are there to become a normal resident of a country. First one, stay in the country should be more than 1 year. A person must be stay for more than 1 year and whose economic interest, here I have written the resident carries out the basic economic activities of earnings from that location only. Clear? So normal residents, a normal resident may be a person or an institution who ordinarily resides in a country or located in a country and center of economic interest like earnings, spending and accumulation lies in that country. Clear? For example, you see a Japanese person residing in India for more than 1 year and his economic interest like earning, spending and he in India, not in Japan. So he is the normal resident of India. Similarly, one Indian national or Indian citizen residing in USA for more than 1 year and his economic interest like earning, spending and accumulation or saving lies in USA, not in India. He is the national of India. He is the citizen of India. but he is residing in USA for more than 1 year. Economic interest lies in USA. So he is the resident of USA. For us, he is the non-resident Indian. So two conditions you remember. Staying in the country should be more than 1 year, and also carries out economic activities like earning, spending, and accumulation from that location only, from that country only. Clear? Another example you see. Suppose investor of a an investor of a USA already reside in India for more than 1 year, staying in India for more than 1 year, and this USA investor carry out activities like earning, spending, saving, and investing in India, not in USA. So he is the normal resident of India, but actually he is the citizen of USA. So some examples you see, examples of normal residents of India. Indians working in foreign embassies in India. For example, USA embassy in India, USA embassy, how much area occupied by the USA embassy in India? This area does not belong to domestic territory of India or economic territory of India. But Indians working in USA embassy in India, then definitely he is the normal resident of India. Okay, Indians working in foreign embassies in India. Foreign embassies for us are foreign, belongs to foreign territories. Foreign embassies belongs to foreign territories for us. Clear? But Indians are working. These foreign embassies located in India and Indians are working. They are staying in India. Clear? Their economic interest lies in India. So Indians working in foreign embassies in India, only foreign embassies, it is foreign territory for us. But we are working in these embassies. The normal resident of India. Next one, Indians employed in World Health Organization, International Monetary Fund, United Nations Organization, and World Bank. International organizations. Indians employed in the official organizations located in India. Then these Indians also normal residents. Simply they are working in international organizations. For us, international organizations are the non-residents. Because how much area occupied by the offices of international organizations is called international. Okay, is called international area. So Indians in organizations office located in India, then Indians also belongs to normal residents of India. Third one is the most important one. The foreign citizen living in India for more than 1 year, other than those for studies, medical treatment, sports, or for attending any conference or as a tourist, so leave it. Citizen living in India for more than 1 year, then they must be treated as normal resident of India. For example, you see, he is living in but the person living in India for more than 1 year. So definitely his or her economic interest in normal. Indians visit for studies, medical treatment, sports, conference, etc. for temporary period of time for less than 1 year. Indians visiting to abroad for studies, medical treatment, sports, etc. They are the normal residents of the country because for period of time they have visited to abroad. Indian people who resides near the international border and cross the border on a regular basis to work in the neighboring country. Those Indian people resides near the international border. For example, you see those people residing in near the international border and regularly, frequently, they are going to Nepal for working. But after few days, again they return back to India. Clear? So frequently they are residing in India, but frequently they are going to Nepal, they are going to Bangladesh for work. Okay. So basically they are normal residents of India. Okay. Because their economic interest lies in India. They are residing in India, but for temporary period, they are going to the neighboring countries for work. Okay. So Indian people who resides near the international border and cross the border on a regular basis to work in the neighboring country, they are treated as normal residents of India. Indian crew members of vessels staying in countries for less than 1 year. For temporary period of time, the crew members staying in foreign countries so belongs to normal residents of the country. Next one, if foreign people are working in office of international organizations in India, those foreign, suppose for example you see, it is mostly interesting one, a citizen of USA working in office of International Monetary Fund located in India. Again, one citizen of USA working in office of International Monetary Fund located in India for more than 1 year, for more than not for more than 1 year, then he will be treated as a normal resident. Okay. If foreign people, suppose one Japanese person working in office of UNO, United Nations Organization, located in India for more than 1 year, then the Japanese person treated as normal resident of India. Because two conditions, in case of residents, one is staying in the country for more than 1 year. So staying in the country for more than 1 year means definitely his or her economic interest must be lying in that country. Economic interest means earning, spending, saving. Okay, he or she want to do in that country. So just you remember, if foreign people are working in office of international organizations in India for more than 1 year, then he will be treated as normal resident of India. For example, you see, if the American is UNO office located in India for more than 1 year, okay, one American citizen, national of America, a American national is working in United Nations office, okay, in India for more than 1 year, then he will be treated as normal resident of India. Just you remember. Similarly, if a Japanese national is working in United Nations Organization office located in India for more than 1 year, then also he will be treated as normal resident of India. Similarly, Indian officials, suppose ambassadors, uh, consul general. So Indian officials, diplomats, and members of armed forces posted in foreign countries and international organizations treated as normal residents of India. Indian officials, Indian diplomats, our members of armed forces posted in foreign countries and also posted in international organizations treated as normal residents of India. Similarly, branches of Indian MNCs, Indian multinational corporations, and branches of India operating in foreign countries. For example, suppose the TISCO, Tata Iron and Steel Company, Reliance, Aditya Birla, okay, Asian Paints, related to the color. So these Indian MNCs, their branches also are operating in different parts of the world. Okay, their branches operating in different parts of the world. So how much profit they are getting, it is coming to India because their headquarters lies in India. Suppose the Tisco headquarter is in Jamshedpur, Reliance headquarter is in Mumbai. So only branches operating in different parts of the world, but their economic interest actually lies in India. Clear? So they are treated as normal residents of India. Then next one, non-residents. Similarly, non-resident is said to be a person or an institution who ordinarily resides or located in other country and its center of economic interest like earning, spending and accumulation lies in that country. Okay, for us, non-resident Indian person of citizen of India, but he is residing in foreign country for more than 1 year, and also his economic interest lies in that country, not in India. So for us, definitely he is non-resident Indian. So a non-resident is said to be a person or an institution. Similarly, in institution or also any organization, okay, whose branch is operating in other country and economic interest also lies in that country, not in India. Okay, so a non-resident is said to be a person or an institution who ordinarily resides or located in other country and its center of economic interest lies in that country. In case of an institution, you see, some industrialist of India permanently already they shifted from India to foreign country, and their economic interest lies in foreign country, not in India. Their main headquarter of the company lies in foreign country, not in India. They want to save and invest in foreign country. Okay, so also these type of industrialists and investors for us, okay, treated as non-residents. Examples of non-resident Indian: international organizations are not treated as residents of any country. World Health Organization, World Bank, International Monetary Fund, United Nations Organization. These international organizations are treated as residents of any country, but of international area. Offices of international organizations, Office of WHO, Office of IMF, Office of World Bank also operating in India. So how much? Okay, how much area they occupied, these area do not belongs to domestic territory. Okay, so these organizations are not the residents of any country, belongs to the international area. Next one, foreign visitors. Foreign visitors coming to India for studies, for medical treatment, for sports training, for as a tourist, attending conferences, they are treated as non-resident Indians. For temporary period of time, they are coming to India. Okay, for certain purpose, they come to India. Okay, for temporary period of time. Okay, so these foreign visitors treated as non-resident Indians. Crew members of foreign vessels, commercial travelers, and seasonal workers. In a particular season, they come to India and do the work and again return back. Crew members of foreign vessels, commercial travelers, and seasonal workers staying in India for less than 1 year, treated as non-resident Indians. Similarly, foreign officials, foreign diplomats, and members of armed forces of foreign country posted in India and also posted in office of international organizations located in India, also treated as non-resident Indians. Foreign workers, foreigners working in Indian embassies located in other countries. Foreigners working, suppose for example you see Indian embassy in Japan. Indian embassy in Japan, it belongs to our territory, it belongs to Indian territory. Okay, so Indian embassy in Japan, but one USA person is working in Indian embassy operating in Japan. So this USA person for us treated as non-resident Indian. Indian embassy in Japan, it belongs to Indian territory, but one USA national working in our Indian embassy in Japan, so he treated as non-resident Indian. The foreign technical experts working in India for a period of less than 1 year. Suppose you know that one foreign MNC is there, and this company brought the technical experts for a temporary period of time. They come to India for imparting training to the workers. Okay, they stay in India less than 1 year and impart training to the workers. So these foreign technical experts also treated as non-resident Indians. If Indian people working in the offices of international organizations located in other countries for more than 1 year, treated as non-resident Indians. For example, you see, if an Indian working in the office of IMF located in Japan, office of International Monetary Fund located in Japan, and one Indian national working in this office, again the office of International Monetary Fund located in Japan and one Indian national working in this office, and already he has been working for more than 1 year there. So this Indian national treated as non-resident Indian, just to remember. Similarly, suppose if an Indian working in the office of WHO located in USA, if an Indian, suppose Indian scientist, an Indian scientist working in the office of World Health Organization located in USA for more than 1 year, since more than 1 year he has been working in the office of World Health Organization located in USA, then he treated as non-resident Indian and treated as resident of USA. If an Indian citizen living in a foreign country, a very important one. If an Indian citizen living in a foreign country for more than 1 year, other than studies and for medical treatment, sports, okay. If an Indian citizen living in a foreign country for more than 1 year, then also treated as non-resident Indian. To remember, okay, citizen of India, but residing in the foreign country for more than 1 year, then he treated as non-resident Indian. Okay, thank you.